Hello, and thank you so much for joining me. Us? I only see a pinwheel for Alex. I don't know if you guys can see Alex. Let me know in the chat. But I was gonna go live because I didn't want to keep you waiting as we are already running a little late here. But welcome to the Sour Grapes post show. Do you guys see me? Do you guys see Alex? Let me know, chat, because we are working through some technical difficulties, but we're gonna get this Dynamite post show on the road. Get in your super chats, get in your humper chats, subscribe to FightfulSelect.com. Alex, we're gonna remove you. We're gonna remove you because you're just you're a pinwheel of death, I fear. We're gonna let him reboot, do whatever he needs to do. I'll stave off actually doing review things until hopefully he can get back. But we'll talk some AEW. I'll plug some things for you guys at the top of the show until Alex can get back on track. He's going on vacation. And maybe his internet was just like, I'm out early, man. I'm done with these people. You people don't appreciate me on Wednesday night. So he said, I'm out of here. But we got some plugs for you, some updates for you as I spit on myself. What just happened? What is happening tonight? Everything is going wrong. It's the Muppet Show tonight. Get in your super chats. Get in your humper chats at humperchats.com. Please do leave a thumbs up on this video. Please do subscribe to this YouTube channel. We're at like 215,000 almost, I want to say, subscribers. And we appreciate every single one of you so much. We had the Fightful Awards on Monday, which were such a joy. So many of you guys showed out sponsoring, chatting, supporting. We had acceptance speeches from people. We had so much fun. We had Don Callis, who we saw tonight, interrupting the show live. It was such a great time. We appreciate everybody who participated from the talent side, everybody that joined us, quite frankly, and anybody who viewed it after. But we're going to talk some AEW Dynamite. I thought tonight was a great show. I'm intrigued to see what you guys think. Let's start off talking about Taz, because I love this from Anthony Velasquez saying Taz was extra moody today. He told Don Callis to stab Tony with a screwdriver in the leg. I am so glad to have Taz back. He just makes wrestling feel like a field trip. He makes it feel so much fun. Like, I think getting rid of Rampage as a whole was not a bad call. Like, I think it helped streamline the rest of the product, and I think it was a very, very good thing. But one thing I do miss about Friday wrestling is having Taz there every week. They brought back Technique by Taz today, and I popped so hard because I love Technique by Taz. It's one of the things that they had early, I think, like in the Jacksonville days. And when it went away, I was so bummed because I loved seeing it. I feel like when Team Taz formed, it became kind of like, well, maybe it's not so objective anymore or whatever, but I love the technique breakdowns. I think they're so much fun. I was so excited to see them return. Having him on commentary is always a great shot in the arm. So I was very, very happy about that. I will say, speaking of commentators, Ian Riccaboni did win the Fightful Award for Best Commentator of the Year. Check out his acceptance speech if you haven't already. He's such a gem, such a gem. Tom LaValle said Kate tailing Tekla with that spit take. I don't know what just happened. We're off to a very weird start today. It's been a weird couple of days, all right? But we're getting back on track. Tekla, man, another one that's just translated to American television so well. I am Crush NC saying, am I crazy, or has this been the best Dynamite in a long time? And that's saying something because they've had a hell of a year last year. Yeah, they're just in a groove, and I think something that's refreshing about tonight's Dynamite is they don't have a pay-per-view for a while. Like, they are not building to something a month away. Revolution is late February, I want to say, too. So they have like weeks and weeks of TV to kind of build out some proper television. And I think the debut of some new talent, I think, is always great, right? You have Jake Something coming in. The Rascals, I know we have some weird stuff going on there, but like them being a unit in AEW is a great thing. We had updates on Fightful Select about that situation with the Rascals. We also had updates on who was backstage and some good news about him. So some good stuff if you are looking forward to the return of a specific bruv. Some great news there. So we are getting like this refreshed roster a little bit. I'm curious to see if there are more on the horizon. I said yesterday on the NXT post show that TNA, quite frankly, should be somewhat embarrassed by how they handle contracts in the way that they put titles on like talent that is not contracted, on the way that they don't have exclusivity over their dates, on the terms of some of these contracts from a length perspective. Like, they need to find a way to do a better job of making it a more sustainable product. And I'm not just that's not a TNA exclusive thing. You see it in MLW, you see it in New Japan, but they have it under wraps a little bit better. Sorry, I'm multitasking here. I'm trying to get Alex logged back into StreamYard. Just a moment. Let me get him his login. We'll do it live, right? But I think they're off to a good start in 2026, and I think part of the breathing room up front is why, because these pay-per-view vehicles just, they pile up on top of each other, man. Like, I didn't really love what we got from World's End, and I think part of it is just like, by the time we get to the end of the year, we get burnt out. All right, I think I got Alex what he needed to. I got him a link. I'll try to get him his login code too, so he can be proper here. Sorry for the funny start. And I know we don't have Sean already at the top of the show here. He is going to be doing some traveling over the next couple days as well. So let me see what we can do about getting me a co-host. But thanks for sticking with us early. Fightful Select did have a couple of updates today. It's been a heck of a news cycle. Sean hoops in contract news, man. This is his bread and butter, is contract season, and these cycles have been no different. But Will Ospreay being backstage at Dynamite, he wasn't planned for the show, but the fact that he was backstage is a very, very good sign. There was some optimism around his recovery time. Like, that's been something that people are excited about. So you can read more about that on FightfulSelect.com as well. But all of these things kind of coming together to make it work. Oh my gosh, guys, guess what I got? A co-host. I actually knew Alex needed help, but I just wanted to make money off of it. The chat is saying you needed StreamYard login help. I love it. I just wanted to listen, every man has a price. Greg Cherry saying it's a pleasant surprise to see me. Well, thank you so much. Now you get to see both of us. We're welcoming Alex Pulowski back. Because we got some sour power happening. And what better way to be more sour? Do you know how many things I'm doing right now? I'm only one woman, Alex.
Look, all I'm saying is I am the longest tenured employee of this website. I am the only person who's been here since day one other than Sean. And I have never been given access to Humper chats or any of the back end, any of that stuff. I don't have an email. I'm not allowed an email on the Fightful servers. All I've ever been is the longest tenured employee of this place. Listen. So anytime I am logged out of StreamYard, I have to beg Kate to look at me.
You have the wrong mic, but listen, I got a .com because I set up a lot of the broadcasts around here. I sold some sponsorships around here. I got the proper name. I got fast tracked. I got hot shotted over Alex here, but he is able to join us. I didn't talk about the show yet. I was holding out hope that you would be able to host properly, but we did talk about Taz being back, and just feeling like Taz, feeling like AEW is in a good place. And I was saying, like, we have a little bit of time until Revolution, and I think the breathing room has been a nice shot in the arm. And like between the new talent refresh and getting some heavy hitters back and some more on the way, and just having some weeks to play with before your next big show, I think that's kind of helping reset the table here a little bit.
Yes. It was nice to see Taz back. I did not realize that while he was gone, he turned into Wade Barrett. He's out here just saying lies on behalf of the he's out here. Like, I remember him being like, okay, well, these are my guys. I root for my guys. But overall, I calls them like I sees them. But tonight he was calling to ban moves done by baby faces. That's not what I want Taz to be. Like the whole like the what was the Taz where he says watch him get wrist control and do all that stuff.
Yeah, I love it.
Have him do that. Don't come out here and be like, hey, I think these guys won by a fluke, and also all the moves this guy does should be banned. Like, don't do that stuff. Like, let's keep that version away from the AEW commentator desk. It just, like, let Don Callis do that. That's why Don Callis is out there. Don't have one of your actual guys be that. Please.
Fun thing about Technique by Taz, every 6 weeks or so, I would just like post on social media that I want Technique by Taz to come back. And Jeremy one time was like, they should bring back Technique by Taz. Somebody was saying that, oh no. And he realized that I thought of a good idea, and he was in the mud about it, But he is great on commentary. I agree with you. I think there was a little bit of Mel Gibson, Give Me Back My Son, a little bit in his commentary, but it keeps things fresh on the desk, which I like when you have people kind of rotating in and out.
Yes, that is true. Yes. And it was really fun to hear his voice up until he started calling for banning moves by baby faces. And I was like, did he get infected with a Bobby Heenan virus while he was out?
There's a lot of people are sick right now, Alex. There's a lot of things going around.
It's true.
COVID, the norovirus, the Heenan virus. There's a lot of things.
I fully expect to come back from Disneyland with monkeypox. Like, I guess it's Disneyland. So mouseypox. I'm gonna get mouseypox at Disneyland, and I guess that's the bubonic plague is mouseypox. So
yeah, I think so. But Kylie's in the chat saying hi. Hope everyone is doing well. Kylie, we hope you're doing well. Well, I think I did a good job stalling. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty proud of myself. I'm trying to keep the people entertained. I'm trying to get you logged into StreamYard. I've got all these things. I'm sitting on cruise control. You're back to hosting now. I've done enough.
Okay, good. You did your work. Eventually, you read all the super chats, calling for me to be allowed in. That's good. So yeah, Tom LaValle says Alex's Fightful login equals RJ City's AEW graphic.
Someone once called me a Fightful shill, which I thought was very funny because I work here. So yes, I do get paid by this place.
Yes.
But I will say, between yesterday when I pitted the chat against each other to gift subs, and me being like, I'll let Alex toil so that we can get some more paid chats in, I think I'm doing pretty good at shilling.
Yes. So MJF started out the night.
Yes.
Cutting a promo about how great he is. He's very, very good at cutting these promos, but for the most part, this is just look how great I am. And then he is interrupted by Brody King, and I really like that MJF will put some bass in his voice and step right up to Samoa Joe. But Brody King gives him the heebie-jeebies. like that. Like, there's a distinction that MJF draws, and I like that there's a distinction there. Brody wants a title match tonight, and MJF says, I've thought about it, and no. We're definitely getting one. I just don't know when. But I love that Max has a whole bunch of dudes who are definitely getting title shots against him. You know what I mean?
Man,
like, and that's kind of cool that we don't know exactly in what order, although I think I know in what order. But also, it's just kind of cool that the top title has a bunch of top guys wanting it at any one time, as well they should.
So what I appreciated about this was a few things. The first being that MJF, he was not scared of Brody King at all through this whole segment, including the end. When Brody King like kind of stepped at him, like Max just had places to be. So I don't know why people are saying that he was scared of him, but I what I like about the fact that we got this Bandito and now we're getting this Brody King aspect of it is there was a log jam at the top of the card of the same guys hovering around the world title picture. And I get it because they're all top of the card guys. So how you spread out that value is very tricky because you want to keep certain guys fighting each other for story purposes and for attraction. And then you also want other guys helping put over younger guys. So where those chips fall is not the easiest dance to choreograph. But I like that as soon as they put the title on MJF, we got Bandito. We're getting Brody King, who has been white hot and has felt like a main eventer for a while. So I like that even though they're not probably the most serious contenders to win them, it feels very fresh at the top of the card right now. And that's the benefit of having this back on a heel champion is like you have these people that are fan favorites chasing, and that's very productive in my opinion.
A lot of why we're going to do a match is because we know it's going to kick ass. That's what AEW's philosophy is. Like, there's a bunch of times where we're going to do a match just because we know it's going to kick ass. We haven't done it yet. Let's do it. Let's see what happens. And like that's a good enough reason for me to have MJF versus Bandito when we know Bandito's going to lose, and MJF versus Brody King when we know Brody King is going to lose. It also becomes a different thing because I don't think that when Taz does his Taz technique about MJF versus Brody King, he's going to be able to focus on the same things that get Max the victory in the second one as well as the first one. That's great. Also, what I loved about this Max being able to tell the truth.
Yes.
Brody, you're really impressive. Who have you beat? Remind me over the past month? Just tomato cans, right? Just jobbers. Complete jabronis.
Tomato cans was so good too. What a phrase.
Like you have to beat real competition to get a shot at me. And honestly, what I kind of want to put to bed Samoa Joe's part in the main event is Samoa Joe versus Brody King. Winner gets MJF, loser back of the line.
That's a great call. Yeah.
Because MJF doesn't want a part of Samoa Joe again. You know what I mean? I already beat you. I don't feel like I need to fight you again. So here's the deal. I'll fight whichever one of you wins, knowing they're going to beat the tar out of each other. You know what I mean? And that would be because Samoa Joe, no longer the champion, he can move, he can recede into something else. I don't think he needs to get, title matches ad nauseum. So a great way to like make that happen, and also to have Brody King beat top talent, aka Samoa Joe, and to give us a match that's going to kick ass is Brody King, Samoa Joe, winner gets MJF. I think that's a really cool way of getting it done.
I don't think we've seen that before either.
I mean,
I don't even remember seeing them cross paths. I don't think. I'll also add, like, I appreciate that with MJF right out of the gate. The thing that we've gotten is a title defense on the indies to get 2 talent signed, and Bandito and Brody King, like, just immediately off to a very productive start for a heel champion. And if you he's been doing some Australian press. There's going to be more on that tomorrow, but an interview that we had with him through the good people at Down Under the Ring, I believe it is. He had said, like, I went back to the indies because the boss wanted me to test these guys and see if they're the real deal. So I love that he immediately, like, is the justification for me bothering with the indies as MJF is because, well, the boss sent me and he wanted me to see if these guys were good. And it turns out they're pretty great. Like, really, really, really good stuff. So I think this is a home run early use of MJF. And the other thing that's nice is it offsets the fact that, like, we saw Kenny, Swerve, Hanger, and Joe, and we haven't seen any of those guys be like, I'm next in line, to your point. Like, that's probably all coming, but we don't know when. Like, that's very, very refreshing. That's very, very refreshing.
That was really good. So we got our new trios champs backstage talking about if we're going to be a real trio with a trios titles, we need to have a name. And what do you, Jet Set Rodeo is Kevin Knight's idea, which I didn't mind. I like that was pretty good. And then Mike Bailey almost gets the viral to his vlog fans horse over and actually did get it over because there was a chant for it in his match with Samoa Joe.
We got this chat $5 for me, but I can't super chat a horse emoji and an eggplant emoji in the same line. But here we are. I can't. Well, hello to you and thank you for the chat. And yes, to hear fans chant that I was laughing very loudly on my couch.
And I mean, I don't know if you see this, but this is how you can super chat it: a horse emoji and a rooster emoji, and therefore it all works. It all works. It's all nice. Nobody will ban you for that. That's all good. But like Hangman stops him from saying it. Hold on, no, we're not allowed to do that. I don't necessarily know that they need a specific name for it. Jet Speed Cowboys is fine with me. I don't mind that. That's okay too. Whatever. I don't care. Jet Set Rodeo is fine.
Jet Set Rodeo I like that's cool.
Yeah. I did like Bailey asking Hangman, you got this match with Samoa Joe, and I was like, hey, he's big, he's strong, he's vicious, he hits like a truck, but you're fast and you're agile. And if you can beat Samoa Joe tonight, I know it. And he's like, okay, I got that match next, and he leaves. And Kevin Knight's like, hey, you got any advice for me versus Swerve? And Hangman just goes, gonna be a hell of a main event. And he walks out because I don't think he wanted to give advice because he and Swerve are cool now. Like, I don't think he wanted to play favorites. Like, yes, we are the co-trios titles, but I'm cool with Swerve, and I don't want to be uncool with Swerve right now. So I'm just going to say, may the best man win and not give you any pointers. I liked that there was a cool little moment there. Because yeah, I mean, at some point in 2026, I really do want Swerve and Hangman to hold the tag titles. They work really, really well together. And it's a perfect thing for hey, they're finally cool together. They win the tag titles. They can have great matches with a bunch of people. When they lose, it'll be a way to get back into them not liking each other again, which I feel like you're going to revisit that a few times over the next 5 years. That can be a good reason for it, is the tag team dissolving.
I kind of like that too, because you can't really let bygones be bygones when someone burned down your house and there was a full break-in. It just doesn't go over super smooth, even if you're cool with someone, even if you recognize that they are a different person and a better person. That doesn't mean you want to be best friends with them all the time. So I feel like the road to get back there should be a little bit long. But these are two people that are, it feels like even when they're in other stories, their connection is going to be a driving force. And I think that's a really cool device in pro wrestling, to be they don't even have a ton to do with each other right now, but just by being in the same atmosphere, something's up. And I think that's a really, really cool thing that pro wrestling accomplishes sometimes.
Yeah. They should mention that the live collision that was set to be broadcast from Texas this Saturday was changed to a taped collision, taped tonight, because of the biblical storm that is going to be going through Texas all the way through the Atlantic coast over the next few days. So anybody in Tennessee, Kentucky, northern Gulf states, Atlanta, if you haven't started battening down your hatches, you might want to do that now.
Oh, and you got to batten them.
You got to batten your hatches. If you got a hatch, batten it. That's what I always got to say.
I always say that.
Batten them if you got them. And so I love that Tony thinks about that kind of stuff and says, I'm not making any of my talent travel there. I'm not making anybody drive on those kind of roads to like say, I bought these tickets. I got to use them. I don't want to like, I didn't want to like, not have to get a refund or something. So, and I love that he's like, okay, so this is canceled. Within 24 to 48 hours, you will receive an email of how to get a refund if you bought tickets for that collision. I think that's such a class act and a cool thing to do. And, great. I'm glad they're doing it. So a lot of stuff that was supposed to be on that collision is now on next week's Dynamite. And they also just put a whole bunch of stuff on that collision that wasn't supposed to be on that collision. And there was travel issues, guys who probably might have been cleared by Saturday, but weren't cleared tonight. So they can't, like, a lot of stuff like that. So it was a lot of kind of rejiggering of how everything's going to move in through the next episode of Collision and Dynamite.
Look, I wish I could change those people's location for them, but I can't do that.
No,
I can change their virtual location for
their virtual location.
Yeah, not me personally.
Not you, no, but somebody could.
But I know who can.
If you're a wrestling fan and you're frustrated with all the services you need to watch all the different wrestling shows, Fightful has your solution with nordvpn.com/Fightful. Change your virtual location with just one click, and you'll be able to watch Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and PLEs on one Netflix account. You'll also be able to get a lot of pay-per-views at a much more affordable price than you do here in the United States. This is a must-have for wrestling fans. That way you don't have to have 7 different accounts to watch all of the shows that you want to watch. In addition to that, they have a great 30-day money-back guarantee and an incredible deal right now going on. But that's far from it. You can protect yourself on their VPN service, the fastest in the world, shield your data from snoops and criminals, protect yourselves on public Wi-Fi, and it's available on all your devices and operating systems. nordvpn.com/Fightful.
I also didn't mean to make it apocalyptic storm like a cutesy little segue. Sincerely, be safe. And I agree with you that it's a good call to just cancel it in advance, especially to a city that's been so good to them, or like to a territory, I guess, that's been so good to them. So just getting out ahead of it was the right call. And one thing that's really nice is when you have such a stacked roster like you do, if you have to throw together an episode of TV, you can still, it might not be the most sensical one, but you can put something pretty cool together. So C. Delgado saying TK said, holds my Fightful award and booked Andrade versus Magnus. Yeah, you can just do stuff like that, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, you can. You really can. So Samoa Joe, in fact, did defeat Mike Bailey. It was just too much of the damned numbers game. Like Mike Bailey says, Kevin Knight, you have a very important match, so I don't want you coming to the ring. His very important match started an hour and a half after this match ended. So he could have come to the ring. Hangman Page wasn't doing anything. I mean, he was doing something today. There was some photographic evidence of it. We're not going to talk about that. So, but he wasn't doing anything during the show. He could have easily been at ringside for Mike Bailey. He didn't need to, he could have done that. So it's I felt kind of bad that the brand new trios champs just left Mike Bailey defend for himself against Hook and Shibata, Shibata was really getting involved, but like that's not fair. They could have helped.
I also I don't know if Samoa Joe's supposed to need this much help. I have a hard time believing that he needs a ton of assistance, even against really great opponents. Like Samoa Joe needing the numbers game, I feel like that's just not who that wrestler is. That doesn't feel right to me.
I loved the opening of it with Bailey just being too damn fast for Samoa
That was
Joe,
awesome.
until Samoa Joe rolled to the outside and Bailey very dumbly went, I'll follow him out there, and then got his soul chopped out of his chest for good measure. And I loved then Samoa Joe doing that and then just yelling at the fans. What? Huh? You got something to say? He's just so good.
He's so fantastic. And this was a program that I felt like had enough heels. And so I didn't love the initial heel turn, but like I love watching the guy work heel. It's really, really fun. And I think the way it was produced up front, you're right. Like Speedball just being this annoying gnat that he couldn't get out of the air, like I thought was fun. But like Mike Bailey's smarter than to follow him out, I feel like.
Yeah.
Right?
Like when Shibata was beating the hell out of Bailey and Paul Turner was just like, I'm sorry, Samoa Joe, are you okay? Let me look in your nose to see if it's broken. I didn't know what he was doing because Shibata beat on him for a while. And we heard Hangman say that I am making a match for myself versus Shibata on Collision. He said that. And when he was doing that, I expected to hear Hangman's music. And for him to come out and like chase Shibata off, but he didn't. And I didn't know what. Like Bailey said to Kevin Knight, please don't come out there. He didn't say anything to Hangman. Hangman just said he'll handle it himself. And I feel like he needed to be nicer, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah. Yes. The Lieutenant Photo sent a video to the SGS Discord of his own very small child chopping him in the chest, and that kid hits hard for being little. He's only 5. Go. He just just whacked him real good. Yeah, again, my son said, "Can I do that to you, Dad?" And your first mistake was saying yes, because you never know how hard a kid can hit until you let them hit you.
To stop this is fathers. That's what I've always said.
This is the thing I've learned as a father. You never let your kid hit you because they will hit you as hard as they can. Like, it's like, oh no, go ahead, you can do it. Like, you don't realize how much strength a 5-year-old has until they're using it all on you.
Yeah, as someone whose dad is 6'3", and when she was a little girl thought like nothing can hurt that guy.
Yeah.
You can do some things. You can hurt some people. You are little, but you are mighty.
My cousin-in-law has like 4 teenage girls, and he like would always horse around with them, and they would hit him, and now they're too big to do it. So like he'll tease them and they'll come up with him, just hit him in the shoulder. He's like,
ow.
You created this culture, man. You created this culture. So anyway, yeah, Shibata hit a whole ass suplex on the apron into another suplex on the floor, and the ref didn't see it, or I would say hear it. How did you not hear that? You know what I mean?
Also, like this part's just pro wrestling, so take it with a grain of salt.
It is.
We cannot be surprised when these people's friends come out. Like referees should probably be like, you know what? I better have one eye out. Like I should have one eye open for these other people that might be coming down the ramp.
Yeah. Second match of the night. The Death Riders versus the Don Callis family. Listen. If you told me, I don't know, 6 weeks ago, that the Death Riders would turn into this faction of anti-heroes, I would have said that's crazy. That's crazy. That's not going to happen. All it took for them to fully cement their I won't say face turn, but they're no longer the scourge of modern wrestling like they used to be.
Sure.
All it took for them to cement that was ultra heel Darby Allin breaking Pac's leg on purpose, and then Pac comes out with his crutch to beat on Lance Archer and holds it up in the air like one of those guys in the dunk contest where like a big tall guy holds a ball up in the air and then another one dude runs and jumps and grabs it in the same motion that he dunks it. That was Claudio grabbing the crutch, jumping off the apron and hitting him. I stood up in my chair and cheered. Like, that's not the response that the Death Riders were. There's no chance that they would have engendered that in anybody, but the crowd loved it. You got underdogs like Daniel. They're like the Don Callis family are uber heels, but like they're putting Daniel Garcia, who's been a little shit, let's be honest, for ever since he joined them. They put him inside a trash can and then did a double drop kick to him, and the crowd was like, "Boo! We like that young man. Don't do that to him."
How dare you?
Like that was crazy. Oh man.
Louis said he alley-ooped a crutch.
He did. He alley-ooped a crutch.
I think the way the Death Riders are playing out is really impressively orchestrated. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention the integral role that Fightful Award winner Don Callis has been playing in all of this. And I think it takes the finesse of a Fightful Award-winning heel manager to really make an angle like this work. Like, that's what gets you Manager of the Year, Stable of the Year. It gets you the private line to call into the Fightful Awards on. That's what it gets you. No, they have pulled off a couple of magic tricks because I did not care for the Death Riders, Alex. I don't know if you know this, but
I remember this. Yeah,
very much not in the camp of a fan of theirs. And then I was like, man, they tricked me. They're going to make me feel all these things when the Death Riders turn on John Moxley. And then they just followed him right to the face side. And I'm like, hey, wait, that's working too. So shout out to them for figuring that out. Cause I thought that was so stuck in the mud. It was going to be like, what's the movie? Is it just called Snake? What's the movie with the snakes that you made me watch?
The movie with the snakes that I made you watch.
The insane snakes, the giant ones that are all like, what's it called? Who is in it?
I don't know. I didn't make you watch Anaconda. Movie. It was a monster movie. I didn't make you watch Anaconda. We're not snakes on a plane. We didn't watch that. I know it wasn't that. I don't know what that was. I don't know what you're talking about. Tremors.
Tremors.
Snakes, not snakes. Tremors.
Tremors, whatever.
They were not like snakes.
They looked like snakes.
They were subterranean, like prehistoric worms. They were not snakes.
That's how stuck in the mud the Death Riders were. Was my point?
They were stuck in the mud. Yeah, they were.
Thank you to Greg Cherry for 5 Fightful Wrestling with Sean Rossap, Kate and Alex memberships.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great.
It is great. You need to sit in the moment more.
It is great. It's great.
I'm trying. Listen, nice community.
Sometimes, Kate, you make me decipher your weird hints about movies we watch, and I lose my train of thought, and I have to scramble to get it back, or it's gone forever. Okay.
Well, be a professional, Alex. Right. You should know this by now about me.
I can't believe that John Moxley did a full face turn during the Continental Classic.
Yeah, that was sneaky too.
Somehow dragged his entire faction with him. Because I thought, him turning face means the rest of them are going to stay heel and they're going to beat him up and kick him out of the gang. I still think in the long term that might have been the better plan. We'll have to see. But I still can't believe they're like, yeah, sure. Let's all be honorable now. Like, at least kind of honorable. Like, at least, like, we like to fight people, so we're going to fight people, as opposed to the scum-sucking Don Callis family. Like, it's a very different kind of heelishness.
That is the award-winning scum-sucking Don Callis family. As Alpha Bill points out, the audacity of Moxley to treat Don Callis, a Fightful award winner, like that, half a star. Alpha Bill gets it.
So after we got Yuta earlier got choke slammed through the scorekeeper's table, but he was able to recover from that because it was a longer match. And later he hits Hechicero with a Busaiku knee on the ramp, leaving Rocky Romero alone. He gets put in the bulldog choke, but fights out of it. Good for Rocky. He gets a pile driver from Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia puts him in the Dragon Tamer, but he's trying to fight out of it. A stop from Moxley, and finally Rocky's like, "Okay, I'm good. I'm done now." And
Romero's a tough son of a bee. That's what I know.
He got tapped out. And then all of the Death Riders kind of gathered around Don Callis. He's like, hi, Don. Says Moxley, there's none of your guys that can do anything to me. Okay? Just want you to know that. You want your guy? No, there was another guy who said that to Don Callis. This one, he said, if your guy wants to know where I am, he knows where to find me.
Yeah.
Meaning probably Okada. So, yeah, cool.
Okada Mox at Grand Slam in Australia?
Maybe.
That's what I'm thinking.
Sure.
Lupongi Boy says it's 3 gosh darn weeks away. It would be nice if they started booking. I think they are. I think you might get Brody and Max there. Like,
yeah, that might be a good place for it. But I forgot that Moxley brought out a board with barbed wire and broken glass all over it. And brought it into the ring to do something to somebody. But when he brought it out, I should have known Moxley's just bringing that out so he can take the bump into it.
Of course.
He's the guy who wants to take the bump into that, and then he did. So he's got barbed wire and glass in his back. He's like, hey Don, if your guy wants to know where I am, he knows where to find me. And I'm like, with glass in his back.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
It's not a John Moxley street fight if you don't get at least one of those, like just face with his back arched. He is. I'm certainly not a deathmatch hater, but it's not my favorite way, and I do think I get a little fatigued on them because I'm like, you seen one barbed wire and glass spot in the back enough times. You see them all. Like sometimes it loses the shock and awe because they go back to that well so often. Yeah. This street fight I really liked. Like it was the pacing was great. There was enough regular wrestling in it that I feel like those spots were offset by some just good old fashioned graps. And what I like about this for the Death Riders is it feels like the more that they're creeping toward becoming faces again, the more they're working toward the original intention of the group. Like they're falling back in love with the fight of wrestling again. And that's like a nice little sneaky subplot that's going on with this. But speaking of sneaky, we've got a guest, Alex.
What?
It's Sean Ross.
Hey guys, fancy seeing you all here. I come bearing news as lots of news over the last week, obviously from the Trey Miguel thing that we were able to verify he is out of AEW shortly after, quite frankly, joining AEW. I offered my personal thoughts on it earlier, but I'll reiterate. I'm like, listen, I believe people can grow. I believe people can learn. And what he tweeted was totally dumb. I have tweeted so many dumb things in my life, like that it's never that, but still, the man immediately apologized. And I am certainly no arbiter of morality or anything like that, but I am looking up and down that WBD catalog.
Sure.
The stuff that's on there and the stuff that's on HBO. And I
feel like I look for patterns of behavior with stuff. Like if you
patterns of behavior.
Yeah. And there's not a pattern of behavior there with Trey Miguel, which to me, that's a big distinguishing thing because everybody makes mistakes. If you have a pattern of behavior of stuff, then I start to question things. But I'm in the same camp as you on that personally, though it's not my place to say what's offensive or not on it.
I reached out to WBD contacts and didn't hear from them about this, which is rare. I almost always hear back from them. There were a lot of people saying that it was in relation to some comments that he made to David Starr years ago. And David Starr, who has since been exiled from wrestling, actually defended him and said, I didn't even remember the exchange. I had to go back and look. And while, again, those aren't ideal, that was not the reason relayed. The reason specifically relayed was the posts like 6 years ago, of which he immediately apologized for. I saw really weird conspiracy theories, honestly, all from the worst accounts in pro wrestling, saying, oh, well, it's because he dated MJF's wife. And that, let me begin to tell you guys, first off, no. That was 1,100,000% verified no, because if anything, sorry if I'm blowing up his spot. If anything, MJF went to bat for that group because of some of Vince's controversial things in the past, and MJF stepped up and said, bad joke, not that guy, and encouraged AEW to bring them in. And there's no way that he would have encouraged them to bring in Vince and not expect Trey Miguel to be brought in. So
also, like, people in wrestling date each other a lot. Like, if you're
that
looking for a locker room where
told.
people haven't dated each other, I don't know.
That was the direct explanation given, is who the hell would have a job if nobody could work with anyone that they used to date or someone that they dated, etc. I encourage wrestling fans, count on your two little hands the number of women's wrestlers that are not dating or married to someone in the wrestling business.
Sure.
In AEW, WWE, ROH, NXT.
Right.
It's pretty limited there. So I mean, those are my feelings on it, but that is the reason that was given. It's interesting because WWE passed on hiring him 6 years ago for that reason, and then put him on TV last year and the year before. And again, this is a thing from what I understand where AEW would like to have them. I'm sitting there thinking, okay, well, why not ROH? And I know that like WBD had offered ROH a TV deal along with this new deal to where it would air True TV Fridays 10 p.m. But it's like that should be your I don't know. It just shouldn't have anything to do with WBD at this stage. And I'm just looking at it and I'm like, I'm sure AEW is very happy to have that WBD deal. But I'm like, man, I talked to people in TNA. A specific message I sent out to someone who has been at every TNA show since Trey has been there. And I said, has there ever been any trouble that I didn't know about with Trey? And they said, in all caps, never. We do have a super chat. Bill Alphabet says, Sean, how disappointed are you at Fightful Award winner Don Callis not using the world award on the diverticulitis? Would have been excellent promotion. He said he was going to consider it because they're very heavy.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, let me just say, Don Callis stepping out of character, very specifically out of character, because we gave him the option before we went on the air to do it in character. And he said, no, I want to play it forward. And he had really nice things to say about our awards. And that made me very happy. So when I log on Facebook and I see allegedly straight grown men sexually fantasizing about a wrestling booker they pretend to not like because they won a fan vote for the award, and they go, not credible, bet you sucked his dick. I'm like,
so weird.
If only there were evidence out there that maybe that guy doesn't think it's credible, but Rhea Ripley, MJF, Chelsea Green, Swerve Strickland, Bronson Reed, Tony Storm, Tony Khan, Harley Cameron, Raquel Rodriguez, Brody King, Don Callis, Drew McIntyre, RJ City, Piper Niven, Mark Briscoe, Callie Armstrong, Ian Riccaboni, Bandito, Maya World, Izzy, Roxanne Perez, R-Truth, Dax Cash, yeah, any of them, Matt Cardona, even Nathan Frazier, Axiom, Prince Nana, Nigel McGuinness, if any of those had maybe, I don't know, done acceptance speeches, Stephen Borden.
I just actually think it's so nice of Tony Khan to not only have bought those categories for himself this year, but for last year and the year before to have bought them for Triple H and WWE. What a kind dude to have bought them for WWE.
You did sell more sponsors than ever this year, Kate. We just didn't know they were all to Tony.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't. And I feel like, we might be able to control those subscription costs really easily if Tony Khan's just going to foot the bill for stuff. So
yeah, I mean, do you selling those things at Costco? Because he bought them in bulk. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it is incredibly interesting that it cost us less money this year than the previous 3 years, of which I drove a bunch of the awards to a venue. So I think it was the year, unfortunately, that Jay Briscoe passed. They were in Lexington a couple weeks later. Then the next year, Cincinnati was in Lexington. Then the next year, last year, it was Cincinnati. Yeah. So I drove them to Cincinnati in the worst traffic ever, dollied those sumbitches up and dragged them into the talent hotel for them. But we shipped them out individually, which is why we saw Speedball blow up the spot with RJ saying, "What does that award say, RJ?" And RJ goes, "Well, it says generic because they sent us this one for the speeches." So he blew up our spot there. But in addition to that, I had some news on KJ Orso today, and some people watching this may say, "Who's that?" It's the former Fuego who has had an incredible last year or so. I mean, I think it's interesting. I see him at WrestleCade one year, and he comes up to me and he goes, "Hey," and I am like, "Who the hell are you?" And then he's like, "Oh, it's Fuego." And I'm like, "Why do you wear a mask, dude? Like, what's your deal? Why you wear a mask?" And then he's losing that mask, and he's having a run of his career. He appeared on TNA. TNA has not offered him anything yet, but they did tell me that that he made a good impression. And I believe he's open to it. If I were them, that's a signing I would make right now for that X division.
Sure.
Jordan Oliver is signed. So this is more of a personal experience thing, but I interviewed him a number of years ago, and he told me like the concentrated effort that he made to add size and all that, because he was way smaller than he is now. And he's about 6 feet, 6'1". And like, I want to say 2.5 years ago, I would see him at events and he would start showing up in suits. And I was like, okay, he's making a concentrated effort here. He's doing that work. He's 26 years old. He's going to be really, really good for AEW. But I
have a
interesting piece of news that
fun
we
Jordan Oliver story. Of I saw him speaking to another wrestler who was kind of maybe coasting on the indies for a little bit. And he flat out turned to him and goes, "Hey man, so you're just like not gonna get better?"
You know?
That wrestler went, "Damn." And I was like, you know what? I kind of respect that, Jordan Oliver. Damn.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Me too.
But we also reported today on Fightful Select, Will Ospreay was scheduled to be backstage. I'm going to find out if like what all went on there, but it's interesting because when he appeared with Switchblade at Wrestle Kingdom, naturally I'm asking, all right, is Switchblade coming back soon? And a person said to me, "You might be looking at Will Ospreay coming back before Switchblade." And I go, "Oh, with the neck injury? Oh." And now I'm looking at this and I'm asking around about Kevin Owens, and I'm like, what kind of neck operations are these gentlemen getting here?
Yeah.
They getting that Kurt Angle 04? What do they got going on? Or is maybe the 03? One of those?
But like tend to heal faster than like just general, like men in general. Bruvs is but it's a different thing.
I was told that tentatively he was scheduled to go through the medical and maybe start the process of getting cleared. But I should say that can be a long process. I've heard of wrestlers being in that process for like 6 to 8 weeks. I'm not putting a timetable on it. I just, based on conversations that I had with people that are familiar with Ospreay and what he would be doing, they seem to think that like around spring is when they definitely plan to have him or hope to have him involved. It could be sooner, but that is that was surprising to me, to be honest with you. I didn't expect to get that information. Of course, they had to change a whole lot of travel this week, which it's funny because I was talking to somebody and they said the Orlando shows are probably AEW's most profitable Dynamites because Tony Khan doesn't have to fly everybody in. Everybody just lives in Orlando. And because of that, you can bring in a bunch of people that aren't usually at TV. You can bring in Baron Corbin, now Bishop Dyer, to work a pre-show match. And apparently Danny Burch for some reason. Like,
I didn't see that one
before as well. So there's that, and they were able to get that in there. But also wanted to send love to. I saw that Swerve and Will Washington posted about it. Tobias, who did the producing for a lot of Swerve songs, passed away. Wanted to send some love there because I know that's an incredible loss for them. But I also want to thank everybody, not just from AEW, because as it turns out, I guess WWE bought some awards too.
They did, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I got to be real. I was not sure how WWE would respond to getting trounced in the awards. And I really respected that they were like, here's Sol Ruca, here's Callie Armstrong. Not only here are them, but like here are full-on interviews about the topic that you're doing. I thought that was very cool. We had Callie Armstrong drop. We got Sol Ruca dropping Friday, but they also were able to get one with Raquel and Roxanne, of which I had to edit a little bit because of plans do change, pal. But there were a lot of people that sent in acceptance speeches. They are all on our shorts tab. We hope that you guys will check that out. This wonderful lady up here did an incredible job, and I will share this bit of experience. We got absolutely washed financially on these awards the first 3 years. And I mean hosed. Like, we took a bath. We were right underneath the goddamn spigot with a wash rag is what we were. And we don't do those to make a profit. We do those, as I've mentioned, because we want the talent to know that when this guy is burying them and when I'm reporting dirt about them, that we still appreciate the sacrifices that they make from a physical perspective.
See who was safe? The girl collecting the money was the one who's safe,
she's
not
nice.
burying or
But even though we got to report some things about them they might not like and might have some opinions that they might not like, that we still
always
respect.
About the booking.
Well, that we respect the sacrifices and compromises they make physically, mentally, socially, and from their family. And we want them to have something that they are proud to display and proud to have. Rhea Ripley has hers in her office. Chelsea Green and Matt Cardona have theirs in their office. Dax Harwood as well. Don Callis told us that it was the only award he is going to keep in his office. And that means something to me because these people all voted for it. And that is important to me. So thank you to you all. And Kate sold so many sponsors. We were like an episode of Raw on Netflix 2 weeks ago because WrestleVotes reported they're doing less ads now. But thank you all very much. And subscribe to Fightful Select because my contract news ain't done, guys. I got more coming. And I'm taking a little trip this weekend. Got some business in New York, but I'm probably going to end up living there because of this storm that's apparently hitting us.
Yeah, nah. Yeah, getting back.
I'm probably not getting home Sunday.
Nope.
So I packed boots.
Smart move.
Yeah.
Smart move.
But lots of news, lots of things happening.
You said we previously took a bath on the awards, and this comment, as a keyboard booker, I'm offended by baths.
Yes, and also I've asked Kate, please have a contingency plan for Monday because there's a chance I might not be able to be home for that show.
Already in motion.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what we do have this weekend. Lots of scoops on FightfulSelect.com. Got WrestleVotes Radio tomorrow. We're going to have a bunch of scoops, including, I believe, a Stone Cold Steve Austin related scoop. Friday, we're going to have some news on top title booking in WWE. I have moved the Debunkathon to Saturday. And we got scoops coming nonstop, guys. But thank you all so much.
Thank you, Sean, for hopping on, giving you guys some more insight, some more context on those Fightful Select scoops we've been getting. We've got a 1 month member hanging out. We've got newbies. We've got old friends.
That's great.
We've got wrestling to get back to.
We do. Well, we got some ladies talking to each other backstage.
We did.
This it's Stat and Willow and Harley was responding to the Triangle of Madness. Hey, Stat, why don't you have your title match with me? Was it next week they made that for?
I think so.
I think they made that for Stat and Tekla next week, which I thought might have been like a Grand Slam match. Just because they need things for that big show. I thought maybe that would be a Grand Slam match. Maybe something happens that makes it a thing that they run back a couple of weeks later. I don't know. We also got we had Julia say, "Hey, I never got my rematch, Willow, when you beat me for the TBS title, so I want to face you for that." And Willow's like, "Yeah, how about on Collision? Let's do it." And then Harley is like, "I am also here." She was great. This is the thing about.
You don't need to say a lot because she's a Fightful Award winner, and when you're a Fightful Award winner, you have a presence about you, a milieu when you walk into the room.
Right.
I really feel like Kris is starting to settle into who world champion Kris Statlander is. She's. Yeah. I wouldn't never have said like she's not a good promo, but I think she's like there's a certainty and a confidence that maybe wasn't there before that you're starting to see really, really blossom. And it's hard when you go from alien who boops people to serious badass or whatever. Yes. Like it's going to take a second to find your footing. And I feel like we might be seeing a title makes the wrestler kind of reign as we go through this. And that's always really great.
I really enjoyed I love all 6 of these women. I think they're great. I have my reservations about tying up all of the titles into one three lady faction. We'll talk about why I feel that way later when we talk about the one match on the show.
I have a question for you.
Yes,
Mr. Pulowski.
Mm-hmm.
Is the Julia Hart and Sky Blue thing, Sisters of Sinness, working for you?
I don't know why it wouldn't be.
The evil doll, we say things in sync thing is kind of like.
No, it's because you hate horror movies. It's a takeoff of The Shining, one of the greatest horror movies of all time.
I'm not that bad. I know.
I'm just saying it. Like maybe you have a fight or flight. You know what I mean? Because you think it's so close to being a horror movie that you're like, I don't like this. I don't like this.
That. I'm not going to dismiss that as a possibility of being true. I don't feel like it fits this fact. I don't view Tekla as the leader of a faction that has like a horror element to it as much as she's like cool, creepy, weirdo a little bit more.
Yeah.
So it feels like out of place that all these pieces have come together. I think Tekla's just like lit up American television in a way that I thought she was going to translate well. She's ascended what my expectations were.
She's great.
But it's feeling a little theater kiddie and not horror movie to me. I like them very much. I like them both very much.
Maybe I did not realize about your prejudices against theater kids because maybe this is something that
I mean, honestly. But self-loathing's the thing, so it is what it is.
Okay, fine. No, I see where you're coming from. I haven't got to the point where I don't think it's awesome yet. So, we got Jordan Oliver and Alec Price. Yes. MJF decided to go to an indie show and defend his title, and then afterwards said to the guy he beat and that guy's tag team partner, "You're an AEW now." And they had no idea he was going to say that, and that's one of the coolest things that can happen in wrestling. I think that's awesome. And they were like, "Oh, by the way, your first match is Wednesday, and it's against FTR, the greatest tag team who's ever lived, and the current champions." And they're like, "How much time do we get?" "You get 5 minutes and 15 seconds. Go." And they did everything. They were so great. They showed out. FTR gave them so much, but it becomes a thing of like, We're giving you all of our best shots over and over and over again. We're doing like they did all that crazy Motor City Machine Guns shit where it's like bing, 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 bing. One dude getting kneed in the face, kicked, drop kicked, and all this kind of stuff. Poor Dax took all of that stuff. It's great. Loved it. But eventually we're going to catch you with our big move and you're done.
Yes.
And that was it. And I loved it. That was it. Like FTR at no point felt like they were outclassed or in any danger of losing the match, even though they were taking 90% of the offense. And eventually we hit you with the big rig with the Shatter Machine and you're done. But what a fantastic coming out party for Jordan Oliver and Alec Price. This was really fun and what a cool shot in the arm for the tag division. And when Nick Wayne is healthy, if they decide to turn him babyface, what a cool shot in the arm for the trios division, because those guys work well together all the time. It's great.
I thought this was great. I'm so continually impressed when pro wrestlers are skilled enough to do exactly what you said about Dax of I'm not in danger of losing this match, but I am definitely getting my ass kicked right now. That's what makes a 5-minute match not feel like a squash to me. That just feels like a 5-minute match. And there's a very important distinction between those two things.
Oh yeah.
They got to showcase what they can do. They're going to be great. They're going to do wonderful things here. I shout out to Limitless Wrestling for cultivating some incredible talent in the Northeast. There's not a ton of Northeast like hot spots for wrestling, to be perfectly honest. Like there's just not. They're an important one, and both of these guys are fantastic. I think that is just about the coolest way you could sign someone to a roster. Let me send our world champion, and like. You're already thinking like, oh, this match could really do something for me. And then all of a sudden, bam, you're signed. It's like such a cool way to go about business. So I'm so glad that they got to do this. I'm so glad they got to be in there with FTR. But I don't want to lose sight of what's important. And that's to help Big Stoke. Because
we do need to help Big Stoke.
We do. And I have a thing where if you put a gimmicked website together, I have to go look at it. I did it with Luca Crucifino and his law website. I had to do this. It gives you like a loading error, like a 404 error. And then it says, but check out these t-shirts. And they're just his actual t-shirts on the website.
Yeah, so I believe the error that I saw was says, oops, looks like you haven't donated enough yet. So
is that what it is?
That's what I thought I saw, but like that was
Let me see. I'm gonna go to helpbigstoke.com right now. I will say this on a sincere level.
Yeah.
I tend to view things through a marketing lens because that's how I was raised. And I feel like both WWE and AEW are missing out on huge opportunities to make merchandise an experience, which is the trend of merchandise in general.
Yeah.
It's been that way for a while and nobody's doing it, meaning don't do specialty t-shirts with my city's name on it or my country's flag. Do like those cool grunge plaid t-shirts when you're in Seattle with like the cutout backs that say AEW. Like take the time to care about things like that. I've said it blows my mind people don't have tags with QR codes on them, that if I buy an MJF shirt, I scan it and a video of MJF insulting me pops up. People will remember that kind of stuff, and you can make live experiences special so people remember that and want to come back next time rather than, oh, they put on a really great show when they're here. Like do things that are ambitious in that way. And it's not just the breadth of what you're offering, and it's not just the designs. It's about making merchandise and experience in its own way that feeds back on a loop to the live show. And I just think that's a huge opportunity that all of wrestling is missing. So there you go. Anyway, that was a rant, but
yeah, no, going back to, this is years ago now, and I'm not going to further explain it for those who don't know, but scan the dog if you want to find your daughter is now scan the code, the tag, if you want MJF to insult you. And I think it'll work. I think it'll work.
Or like, I don't fully know the wrestling equivalent of this, but like Coldplay put their albums on a bracelet that was a USB and put it on the chairs of everybody who bought a ticket that attended their MSG show. Like, do stuff like that. You can,
Yeah,
you're
sure.
billion-dollar companies. Just do cool things.
Yeah.
That's all. You probably weren't thinking about giving enough. Go back. Other ways to help. Buy Big Stoke shirts. That is hilarious.
The on the indies, they are known as the Busta and the Brain, and that's a hard no from me. Jordan Oliver and Alec Price is great. That's a cool thing. You can call them that. Busta and the Brain that feels very low rent indies to me, and I don't like it. Sorry.
You can't have them and Butcher and Blade. You can't have Buster and Brain and Butcher.
I don't think we have Butcher and Blade anymore anyways. I haven't seen them in a very long time, but I don't like that. That feels like,
think I'm cool enough to know what YNDP stands for.
YNDP, Young and Dumb and Paid, or something like that.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was Young, Dumb, and Broke. But are they Young, Dumb, and Paid? Because that's a way better way to live life.
Well, yeah, it's YDNP, Young, Dumb, and Paid, I believe is what I've been told.
That's a much better way to live.
Yeah.
But James Stallings also saying Oliver and Price looked great. Glad they got an opportunity. They deserved it. We are seeing certain tag teams maximize their minutes when they get the opportunities.
Yeah.
And also, our Patrick Morrissey.
We'll talk more about that. Yeah.
Okay, we can come back to that. All right.
I want to talk about all the division when we get to the one women's match they have at the same time every week, and they're back to that again. But I like this from Delgado, who says, "You mean you can get your stuff over in 5 minutes? Apparently, you can. Apparently, it is possible.
It sure is, and." It's funny because this is a Tuesday night conversation. I know what that was referencing, but this is also a Tuesday night conversation that we have because I'm not a fan of the speed title because I feel like there is an art to the 3, 4, 5 minute match that the speed title takes away from. But tonight was an excellent example of how productive a 5 minute match could be.
Yeah, for sure. We got our Kenny Omega and Josh Alexander match, and I like that they build it as a match between the two top Canadian wrestlers of their generation. I think that was fun. This was really good. Josh Alexander is suitably vicious. Kenny Omega, I love him as the veteran. I may not be as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was. That's Kenny Omega now, and I love that that's his thing. It's like on any given night, I could pull out the stuff that I used to do. I could do that. I don't know if I could do it consistently, but tonight you're getting the old Kenny Omega. And I think that's a kind of a cool thing. Like, I want one last run at the title. I know I can beat MJF. I want to be champion again. This might be the last ride of Kenny Omega. Let's go out in a blaze of glory. I just think that's a really cool story for Kenny Omega, and I liked the way that they built that with Josh Alexander tonight. Josh Alexander obviously also broke Kenny Omega's best friend's leg, and that's part of this as well. Josh Alexander also, I was thinking about this, when Kyle and Takeshita inevitably break away from the Don Callis family, guys are going to get promoted within the Don Callis family to the top guys. And I feel like that's the doing what you're doing with Josh Alexander makes it so when Kyle leaves and Takeshita leaves, Josh Alexander just jumps one step up into that level. Like where Okada obviously is the prize pony, but like right below him as the top lieutenants, you have guys like Josh Alexander, Andrade, guys who can fight, turning babyface Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher. And not like, honestly, like I know, there's very few people who like Hechicero as much as I do, but I understand that he also needs help being moved up into where Josh Alexander is now. And then you got guys like Rocky Romero and Lance Archer who are fun, but also ultimately the C squad of the Don Callis family. You need to figure out a ways like make guys like Davis and Doyle with what you're doing with them, giving them a tag title shot. Like that makes them more intimidating and they can fight more people. There's a bunch of dudes that they have who are contracted to this family who are currently injured. And I feel like we'll figure out where they shake out when they get back. But I think that they've done a really good job with Josh Alexander, making him feel like he's just below that elite level.
Considering it's a giant family reunion every week, from Fightful Award winner Don Callis, I am impressed by how productive this stable is, meaning like Doyle and Dunkzilla feel like a really big deal. Kyle Fletcher feels like a big deal. Okada feels like a big deal. Takeshita feels like a big deal. Like there's not a lot of times where a stable this loaded has that many guys that feel important at the top of it. And the guys like second or third in line ain't the worst place to be. You know what I mean? So I really like that. Hot take. I think this Kenny Omega is pretty good. I think he's got something. This Kenny, you just start to cherish every rep that you get with him, and him and Josh, I thought had excellent chemistry. This did feel like old Kenny. My only thing about this whole match was great. I don't have any problems with the match. Commentary. Diverticulitis is very serious. I know. And I know about him having a lot of his intestine removed. He came back a year ago, and he's done things other than recover from diverticulitis. You don't have to mention it, and how much of his intestine got taken out every single time this guy wrestles.
You do. It's contractually obligated. The surgeon who took out his intestine signs a thing, says that he's
not even getting over. Like they're not even saying the surgeon's name.
No, it's I like it because it's old school wrestling that a guy can have an injury that happened in 1978 and they're still talking about it in 1991. It feels old school to me. I like it.
Still talking about it is fine. Every time the guy's on screen feels a little
Pieces didn't know he had diverticulitis. Yes, and that's why they have to tell us every time.
Blocked, unsubscribe. Time-outed. Stop.
Listen, the diverticulitis thing, that is his weak point. His weak point is his guts. And if he gets kicked in the guts, it hurts that guy more than guys who have all of their intestines. I don't know why that's so hard to wrap your brain around, Kate.
They weren't even mentioning it when he got hit in the guts. They just... If there was a pause in the match, they had to jump in with that fun fact. Oh, brother.
So after Kenny Omega, I love this that Kenny Omega is getting worked over by Josh Alexander, who goes out to give Don Callis a hug and slides back into the ring to get a V trigger in the ear. And then Kenny Omega hits another one, which apparently exploded Josh Alexander's face, and then picks him up into the one-winged angel and gets the pin. So hope Josh Alexander is not too badly hurt and can make a full recovery very quickly. And Tom LaValle asking, are you saying Kenny can't trust his gut anymore? Well, if his gut is saying that that he's not going to be able to beat anybody in the Don Callis family, apparently not, because he said to Don Callis, "There's nobody in your stable who could touch me, who could beat me." And I expected to hear Kyle Fletcher's music, because I was like, Kyle Fletcher being like saying, "Well, I'm in his stable and I believe I can beat you, Kenny." And them having a great match, and Don Callis getting involved because it's so important to Callis that Kenny get destroyed. And Kyle's like, I just want to beat the guy. Can you let me wrestle him? Stop trying to pass me weapons. I just want to beat Kenny Omega because I know I can. And Don Callis, in continually getting involved, costs Kyle Fletcher the match, which then furthers and expedites, it expedites his exit from that thing. I thought that might have been where we were going. It appears as though that Proto Shida is doing babyface stuff on the Collision show, so like maybe they're already expedited. So I really love Kenny Omega. I think that perhaps Don Callis, I don't know if it's possible to spread yourself too thin when you have 17 guys, but he might be. Like, he really doesn't like he doesn't like Moxley. He doesn't like Kenny. When Ospreay comes back, because apparently that's sooner than later, he doesn't like Ospreay. He probably doesn't like Jets. He doesn't like Jet Speed. I know that. It doesn't like Jungle Boy. Like, there's just a lot of people that, like, I feel like if you have 17 guys, and that's great, but when you spread that out among 9 people you have a grudge against, that's less than 2 guys per dude you got a grudge against.
How little
Briscoe.
faith
He also hates Briscoe. I mean, come on.
How little faith you have in Fightful Award winner Don Callis. Like, just that to me says you don't have faith in Fightful.
I'm looking out for him. I don't want him to spread himself too thin. Like, you know what? You got a lot on your plate now, Don. Come on.
I wonder, can we get a matriarch?
We need a matriarch.
We need a matriarch so that he's got to take a vacation at some point. You know what I mean? Like, he's making he's constantly going to the pay window. That guy's he's going to buy an island to go to.
Saying that I want this version of this lady who's been absent from our TV screens for far too long. Yakuza Shida as the one who's actually in charge of the Don Callis family, like calling the shots while Don is off screen. I would love her bossing around a bunch of big dudes. That would be kind of fun.
I hate that at all. That sounds like a
her and Okada just lording over everybody together as the king and queen of the chessboard. Come on.
I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it either. I'm optimistic that we'll see Shida soon. I really hope so, because it's been too long without her.
She's happy just doing her streams, man. She's just doing her streams. Let Nakamura surf. Let Shida stream. Just let Shida stream, man. Come on.
Proto Shida. Oh, that's so good.
Well, that's only if she turns face with
I love that though.
Yeah. So I saw a thing, I believe it was shared in the SGS Discord by Megan, who's a infographic about the amount of wrestling per show so far in the month of January that AEW is putting on Dynamite and Collision. It's like over an hour and 10 minutes of wrestling on a 2-hour show, which is really good. Before tonight, the average amount of time women were wrestling on a given show was 9 minutes and 44 seconds. And I think that's too little. I think that's not enough time for the women to be wrestling. Out of an hour and 10 minutes, you give them 9 minutes and 44 seconds. It was more tonight. It was almost 11 minutes that they gave Toni Storm. Wrestle Stats. There you go.
Wrestle Stats Fightful Award sponsor of 2 awards. Wrestle Stats.
So almost 11 minutes for the Timeless Love Bombs versus Penelope. So it's more than their average, but it's still not enough. And here's my thing with all of the titles being taken up by 3 women. And one of them having 2 of the titles, is that when you can consolidate all of the important stories to 3 women and whoever they're feuding with, who also happen to be just 3 women right now, then the most important women that you have on your thing are 6. Now, hey, they figured out a way to put another 4 in there. That's 10. And I guess Marina Shafir is 11. There are 11 women in the division right now. Does it feel like there are more than 11 women in the division currently? Because I named 11. I don't know if there are more than that. I know High-End and Maya World are doing like cool stuff when they get the chance to wrestle. But like, I just feel like we could figure out a way to get more than one women's match in a show. And more than two, because right now it's 1.5. Two important storylines for the women going on at the same time. That's like, because there was a point where we were like, hey, we should get more than one women's match per Dynamite. And it was treated as though like, but I mean, they also get to talk some. And then eventually we got more than one women's match per Dynamite. We got more women's match per Collision. And we were like, great. And now they've gone back to that. And I know it's like, well, Mercedes is gone. And with her not there, there's less people to feel important. So you have to, like, if she's rotated out, you got to rotate someone in and make them feel important. I just feel like it's long overdue to have Athena on weekly Dynamites and Collisions. It's long overdue that she lose the title to Billy Starks and move the hell on from ROH. Let's be honest. There's a lot of people that they can be, that can be elevated. I think Jamie Hayter is great. Aminata, when she's healthy, put her the hell back on television. I just think we can do more with the women's division, including what you were saying about Patrick Moore saying, thank you, Kate, for saying something about Sisters of Sin not quite working right now. Love them, but it feels like it's holding them back. Love Sky Blue and want her deathmatch goddess to take off. I think it's true that like Sky Blue is really cool, and let her be the queen of the deathmatch and just challenge anybody she can to a hardcore match, like an open challenge. Come to the ring and get your face gnawed off by me. Like, I think that'd be a really cool thing that we like. Once a month, there's the Sky Blue open challenge hardcore match, and just see who comes to the ring and let her fight him. And sometimes she loses, but it doesn't matter because she just loves to bleed. Like, I mean, there could be some really cool stuff.
Are you saying you want her to bleed once a month?
Yes.
You say you want her to bleed once a month.
Maybe once every 5 weeks, depending on her cycle. But like,
yeah,
it's different. It's different. You know what I mean?
So. Alex, I'm actually so proud of myself because I was like, Kate, if you get your hopes up about this tag division, you're going to be disappointed. And so I'm less disappointed. I'm still disappointed. But if I had had high hopes, I would have been more disappointed because, and honestly, we can't even blame Mercedes and her obvious creative control that she definitely had about this because she's not even around anymore. I foolishly thought maybe another title would get more screen time for women. Maybe it would improve women's talent rotation. Maybe we get to see some people we've just completely forgotten about. Diamante, Nyla Rose, Deonna Purrazzo for some freaking reason. I am so not surprised, but completely disappointed. This is phenomenal. Put it in her theme. I'm there for it.
But even that could be her catchphrase. Honestly, it'd be really freaking great.
Honestly, but we say it like people need reps. Like people felt like Anna Jay regressed. Anna Jay is someone who visibly does so much better when she has consistent reps. I see it all the time. Julia Hart's the same way. Some of these people just haven't they need the consistency, and for less than 10% of the screen time to be women's wrestling is terrible. And you can't make new stars if you keep relying on the old ones. Now, this is something that I've had a complaint about on the men's side as well. I've been talking about the logjam at the top of the card, but it's like, is anybody other than Toni Storm allowed to feel important? And Mercedes? Kris feels kind of like an afterthought in her own reign a little bit with this. I think tonight was a nice step in the right direction, but you're going to face Jamie Hayter real quick is not a program. So I'm glad they're paying off the blood and guts stuff that's wrapped around now. It's been up and down. It hasn't just been down. But when you introduce women's tag titles, and then before the finals for those are even done, you say we're going to introduce another men's title. How am I supposed to think that you're taking any of this seriously? Because what's going to get the screen time? It's not the women's wrestling. Right. And now they're all tied up in one thing. Now, what's cool about that is that feels very important. But what's not cool about that is there's no development outside of it. And on top of that, like, God forbid we have title adjacent programs. We can't even get title programs on the whole. So it's a bummer. It's a bummer, but it's one that I've just come to expect, honestly, from both companies at this point. So it is what it is.
Michael Allen loses a lot of these things. He says, you would think that after all the praise for 2025, the women would be booked better, but I guess not. Everyone seems diminished. He also says, still only one women's match per show is lame in 2026. Can we expand but beyond the same 8 to 10 women in AEW? Yes,
the rotation.
There are 11. There are 11 of them. That's what you get. You don't get 8 to 10, you get 11.
But it's like Britt Baker sitting at home, Nyla, Diamante, Alex,
man.
Windsor seems to be cooking around somewhere. I think Rosa's still not cleared, but Deanna not being on TV is, excuse my French, fucking stupid at this point. Enough.
If you're saying that we're going to make ROH really special, its own thing with its own roster, you know what I mean? And so this is where you're doing. Deonna Purrazzo is on ROH and she's going to be doing something really important over there. Well, okay, fine. Like Billy Starks winning the title from Athena being on AEW programming, and Billy Starks trying to fend off Deonna Purrazzo, like, is a really cool thing for her to do over there, provided that you're actually doing something and providing people who want to see that stuff a reason to spend their money every month to see it.
Bro, Trisha Dora is an ROH. Do you guys know how special Trisha Dora is?
Really,
you don't,
really
because she's tucked away on ROH. Like, it sucks. And this is a hot topic. And Simmons saying, I don't think AEW can reach new heights until the women get more time and we get proper in-ring promos to make us care about the feuds going on. That's the other thing. You want me invested? And we have another Fightful Awards sponsor in Meet Norbis saying, more time for women's wrestling. We're 7 years in and the Jags have been out of the playoffs for a week, for sake.
Tony, know, like,
do you need to call him on the phone?
You could take the full hour that you spent thanking everyone for your Fightful Award. You could use that hour.
No, let's keep that. Let's keep that around. I like that hour.
You could shave it down to a half hour and use the rest of that hour to book women's feuds. I'm just saying.
Still only one women's, and match per show in 2026 is lame. Can we expand beyond the same? This is something that everybody is saying. It's not just us saying it. It's the chat saying it. I'm sure Sports Illustrated is saying it.
But Nyla Rose would be such a shot in the arm to just the TV product. God.
Yeah.
Just put her on, like, she's an amazing talent, like, just as a personality, to say nothing else of anything else. Like, there's a lot of really cool stuff you could do with a bunch of these women. And I'm like, if you want to say we have room on the weekly episodic show for 11 to 14 women, and that's all the time. We copy that. That's okay. They should all be on every show, preferably wrestling on most of these shows. And then they're not only those for 6 straight months. You can cycle some people in and out, like a brief TV. Like, whatever happened to TV feuds? You know what I mean? Like, sometimes not everybody's on the pape. Not everybody can be on the pape. So you have a TV feud that sets up the winner of that TV feud to move on and then get into another feud that is a pape feud. You could do that with these women. You can, I know.
You could, Alex. I bet you could.
I mean, I'll bet you could too.
Well, there's only one problem with that.
And that is?
That there's nowhere that you can bet on wrestling, unfortunately. But it's a sad reality.
Apparently you can, though. Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
this is brand new information.
There's a website that sponsors this very show, on which you can bet.
Do you know what it's called? I wonder if Sean has any information on this.
No, I wonder if he does. He usually knows these things, though.
Let's see if it's
If you're watching a show on Fightful, you're probably an educated wrestling fan. You probably see where the storylines are going. No, you think you know who's going to win the matches and all that stuff. But listen, you want to add some additional intrigue to it. MyBookie AG allows you to bet on pro wrestling and MMA and boxing, everything that we cover at Fightful. But we also do a little bit of gaming at Fightful. You like esports? MyBookie AG has you covered. Get a $50 bonus when you deposit $100 or a $100 bonus when you deposit $200 with the link in our description below. But you can bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. And you can score up to a 100 bet back bonus up to $500 if you're a new customer of MyBookie AG. We only want you to bet what you can, and please bet responsibly. They have the best support system in the business. But whether it be sports, esports, wrestling, casino games, or the Oscars, MyBookie AG is where you can go to bet on it.
I've learned so much in that brief minute and 4 seconds, Alex. I really had no idea.
Yeah, it's good.
Foolish of me.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, the match that we did get tonight, this tag match was fun and nearly ended in the death of a lady. Megan Bayne tossed Mina so far.
In the death of a lady.
It's true. This match nearly ended in the death of a lady. Megan Bayne tossed Mina so far it went over Tony's head, and I'm like, she landed on her shoulder, but she could have easily took that whole thing wrong, expected to be caught, turned her body the wrong way, and we were so fortunate. But it did not look pleasant. Ryan Ben says, once again, for those that think that Mina is soft, because she was able to fight back out of that. Jordan S. saying, Bayne tossing Mina over Tony had me imagining her throwing Rio to the effing moon. Yeah, let's take the tiniest ladies and have them face Megan Bayne. I thought this was very good. It was really good to see Penelope back from the elbow injury. This was, I think, the plan, obviously, before she got hurt, was to have them. I think that they would have been the same, pushed the same way that they were when Marina was involved with Megan. I like that Marina still has the same association with Megan.
Yes.
And I think that's kind of cool. It's not like a jealousy thing of Penelope and Marina. I think that's good. But it's mostly that Marina hates Toni Storm. I think the only thing that's holding the Death Riders back from a full babyface turn is that Marina Shafir just needs to suffocate Toni Storm, everyone's favorite, in her wonderful chest. And it's just this thing. Just
mother's milk.
It's okay. She comes out and attacks Tony while Tony's trying to get in the ring to save Mina, and Tony can't. So Marina's still coming after Tony. I like that this is a thing. This is a cool secondary thing. You know what I mean? I like that. If Tekla is the one who's going to end up taking the title off of Stat, I love Tekla. I would not be opposed to that. If Tekla does not come through and Tony and Stat continues, the building, I keep saying Megan Bayne is you have her undefeated. She's won so many. She won the most. She's not undefeated, but she's won the most matches of any woman in 2025. She's all these things. You do not ever put that woman on her back. So I still think you have the opportunity to make her into this brand new person as a champ. Having her beat Stat, I think would be a really good shout as well. I like them as a tag team. Having them be the ones to beat Harley and Willow would be fine as well. Because I don't think Willow needs to be a double champ for much longer. And I feel like the TBS title is the one that she's going to keep so that when Mercedes comes back, she can ruin it for her. But Just Megan Bayne, I still feel like is so unique and such an amazing specimen. Just figuring out a way to put that woman behind a strap would be the best. Yeah.
I'm I want to know what the chat thinks of this. So I thought I had a controversial opinion that I've learned of recent is not so controversial, and that everybody loves Willow and everybody loves Harley, but the Babes of Wrath it's not working for some people. I'm one of the people it's not working for, and I feel like a really good next set of champions, because I think if Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford beat the Babes of Wrath, I think you're gonna get a ton of heat off of that still. So like I think that's a good way to make that a productive title loss. I'm so intrigued to see what the chat would think, because I also like am just low-key kind of rooting for Penelope to get to hold gold after like all the injuries she's been through. She's been there from the beginning. Like I am kind of rooting for Penelope to get elevated along with Megan. I really like this duo. So I'm kind of pushing like the tag route of like, what did you used to say about Megan, and what did you say? Megan was her Penelope something very, very large friend or something.
Very large friend.
Very large friend, which she is. Yeah. I kind of like that duo, and I feel like them beating the Babes of Wrath would also pay off the Babes of Wrath choice, meaning like they would get enough heat out of beating the hell out of them that I think you're putting Willow and Harley back in a better spot as well. So that's what I would do. I would not oppose to Megan Bayne being a singles title holding champion on any level. Like she is a force to be reckoned with, but I think that could spice up what's going on with Tony and Mina as well. Like you could make those tag titles feel more important than they do right now by making that the starter feud of a new title reign. That could be fun. So I'm very glad to see like Megan Bayne re-entered AEW with a specific character that needed to be supported by specific booking, and that they have held up their end of the bargain on. Like she has taken very, very few losses. I think maybe only one, maybe two. So yeah, I would make them tag champs and have them feud with the Timeless Love Bombs. But if you wanted to put a singles title on Megan Bayne, I'm not complaining.
Yeah. It feels like they're obviously the next challengers for Willow and Harley. I just don't know if they'll win or not, especially if they do it at Grand Slam to have Harley, because they wouldn't pin Willow, so they'd have Harley take the pin in Australia. Yeah. Probably not, but like maybe that's the first one and they get a rematch and they win that.
That's what I would. If I had the pencil, I would put it down and I would start typing, because I just feel like writing with a pencil is an irresponsible way to book. Like you travel, do it digitally. But if I were booking it, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
See, Delgado
saying,
you go ahead. You rock.
No, you.
Okay. I think Megan Bayne and Penelope were supposed to win the tournament, but the injury delayed plans. I would like to believe that, because I don't like Willow having both titles at the same time. I rarely ever like that kind of booking, but I feel like it actually cheapened the TBS title story a little bit.
Yep.
But I'm happy for Harley.
Yeah.
Love Harley.
So Swerve and Kevin Knight went out and gave us one of the best TV matches you're ever likely to see.
Boy, did they.
Kevin Knight's gonna mess around and make himself like international champion. You know what I mean? Like he's just he's really, 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 really good. And he's not on Swerve's level yet. And that's okay. Because Swerve is like, if he's not the top guy, he's 1A.
Yeah.
In you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I really loved the way Swerve wrestled this. It was not with malice. It wasn't like he didn't respect him. There was no disdain. He did respect him. And he was like, I also feel like Swerve came back from injury fairly recently. You know what I mean? Yes. Like there's a little bit of Swerve in all of the matches that he has where it feels like there's part of him that is actively going, God damn, I missed this. You know what I mean? Like that moment. First of all, I wanted like him just perching up on top of after he hits the pile driver on the barricade. I mean, what a sentence. After he hits a pile driver on the barricade, he just perches on the top rope and waits for Kevin Knight. He's like, listen, kid, if you can get in at 10, that's cool. We'll keep going. If not, vaya con Dios. Nice match. Like, I'm not going to punish you. I beat you up. Let's see how much fight you've got in you. And he slides in and he leads the clapping. Like, I actually saw him doing this, and then behind him, you see a bunch of other people stand up and start clapping too. You know what I mean? Like, it's that moment in the movie where you got to have one guy start the clap and then everybody else starts clapping as well. Very good. But then, when Kevin Knight hit him with all of his stuff, with the coast to coast, with the splash, and then rolled him up. And Swerve kind of looks up, sees the right up over here, sees the bottom rope and goes ting with his toe. Like he could have reached up and grabbed it with his hands, but he made it like more of a difficult. He upped his own difficulty. With my toe, I'm gonna touch it. And then Kevin Knight's like, no, I thought I had him. And Swerve is like, like laughing about how you almost got pinned. Like he loves doing this so much that in the moment, he just like, wow, man, you hit me with everything. That was pretty great. This is going to be fun. Let's keep going. Like he was just having so much fun wrestling the match. And I really liked that. It did not feel disdainful. It felt like you are really good. I know you're not as good as me.
Yeah.
But you are really good. That makes this more fun. Let's keep going. And I loved it when he finally decided, okay, now I'm going to put you down. He had to do the house call to a flying man. Like, that was nuts in and of itself. Then the vertebraker. And then the big pressure. It was like, kid, you are so good. I'm going to have to hit you with everything I got to put you down. And he does it. And I love that he's doing it. It is more of a one day you're going to beat me, but it's not today. This thing was like, you're the future. But he says, don't let it take 5 or 6 years before you get to be me. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You hold all of that in the cards. You are not the now because I am the now. You are the future. It's up to you if it takes 6 months or 6 years. It's up to you. I think that's really cool. He is, he's a very cool character. He's not at all like a super baby face, but he's not a heel.
No,
he's just a
he's
dude
a dirtied up baby face. Yeah.
He's like a dirty martini version of a baby face. I like that a lot. I also love MJF, who was watching Kenny Omega's match via closed circuit television, but watching this match from up on high with bottle service, no less.
Of course.
And near the end of it, he is standing up and actively rooting for Kevin Knight. Because Kevin Knight's not going to get a world title shot, but Swerve might. And so I want Swerve to lose because I don't want to have to face Swerve. I like that a lot. This was a really, really, really cool. Everything about this was a really cool way to end the show.
One thing that we have to give credit to that I think should be a bigger conversation than it is with Swerve right now is he put on a ton of mass and it seems to have affected his ability not at all. Like, I remember Osprey's a great example. You look at old clips of Osprey, you're like, what a cute, slender little man he was doing a ton of flippy stuff. And then, like, I think it was during COVID, he was like, I'm just going to put on 20 pounds of muscle entirely in my chest. And it was like, what? And then all of a sudden, the hidden blade comes out and he's evolved into the Will Ospreay that we know. But there's a transition period that happens with that. And not that Swerve was a high flyer, but you put on as much mass as he did, you're going to be affected with the way you move in the ring. And he's done a phenomenal job of making that look incredibly seamless in ways that I'm sure it was not incredibly seamless. Yep. So I'm blown away by that specific aspect of his game. This story was so fun because it was kind of just like it's not even just like, I'm better than you. It's like, I've just got a better grip on what this wrestling match idea is. Like, all of the raw talent is there for Kevin Knight, but Swerve just knows how to put the pieces together a little bit. So it's not even like, it wasn't, I'm such a clever veteran that I outfoxed you the entire match. It was like, I'm just further down the line than you are. You'll get here. And that story, I think, actually just doesn't get told enough in wrestling. Like, I think that's really cool and holds a special spot. So I loved it. I love Max, like, kind of being in Kevin Knight's corner here. Like, that's a very, very fun thing. And not even kind of, by the end of it, blatantly being in his corner, because Swerve is a tough son of a bitch to put away, and MJF doesn't want any of that. So loved that aspect of it. Love MJF keeping tabs on all the top of the card on his program. And I will say with Kevin Knight, I was always impressed by Kevin Knight in New Japan, when he was in the Impact Zone. Something with the maturity of where he is in his career and the presentation of AEW has showcased his abilities in the right way. Like, he just feels like more of a star here. Yep. I think maybe because New Japan has such a specific methodology with which they do things. I think Kevin Knight is a weekly episodic American television wrestling star. Yeah. And so I think he's striking the right chords at the right time in the right place. And I'm just so happy for him. I love when I see wrestlers just get to shine in different ways simply because of where they now work. It's like a very cool thing that wasn't always the case in the wrestling landscape, Alex, that we do have now. So I really love that for him, because he used to, in New Japan, he was kind of like really impressive guy with a really great drop kick. Here, he feels like a complete wrestler in a different way. So love this. Great use of Swerve. Great use of freshening up the top of the card with some younger talent. I'm really encouraged to see that with MJF getting new faces for contenders. I'm encouraged to see things like this with Swerve and Kevin Knight. It's just nice to have a fresh perspective on the product early in 2026 here.
Absolutely. And I really love the way that I feel like it should go, simply because of locations. Swerve getting this title shot at Revolution versus MJF, and Kenny getting it at Dynasty, because Dynasty's in Vancouver and Kenny's a god in Canada, and I feel like that's a pretty easy way of doing it. And I love that also MJF would get crazy nuclear heat versus Kenny in Canada. I think that's a good way of doing it.
There's Piper in Portland and there's Kenny in Canada.
There you go. And Simmons says, I look at Swerve and MJF as two sides of the same coin. Both have insecurities, but Swerve fights against them now, while MJF gives into them.
I don't hate that. I don't know if Swerves are insecurities. Max's definitely are. Swerves, there's something a little more complex there in my interpretation of his character.
Yeah. So and Jordan says that I'm hoping that the Death Riders versus Don Callis family thing is leading to getting the unified belt back, because one, it's a gorgeous belt, and two, there will only be 39 belts over the major companies for now. It's I think that getting the unified belt back is important, simply because of the fact that they shouldn't have split the belts to begin with. Like, they didn't need to split them again for the tournament. It could, like, you just don't need to do that. You can call it the Continental Classic. You can call it the Continental Classic, and the winner of that gets a shot at the unified title. Done. Very easy to do, but
that's just that's the right combination of words for the job, Alex. But I would take it a step further. I'd say you take that unified belt and you take the Fightful award for Trio of the Year and you say, we're going to unify these.
Wow.
And then you just get rid of the belts and you just carry around the Fightful award on weekly episodic wrestling television every week.
Yeah.
People would react super normally to that, is what I've learned in the past 24 hours, 48 hours.
James says that the vertebreaker that Swerve does is so pretty when done perfectly. Like, this one was dangerous but beautiful. Yeah, it's
dangerous but beautiful might be the perfect description of Swerve's entire style.
Yeah, it really, yeah, for sure. That's so great. And Simmons says, Babes of Wrath doesn't work because Mercedes and Harley were the better combo. Then he also says, Megan needs to be women's champ and TK needs to push her and learn from Hobbs. I don't know if we learning from Hobbs. It's an interesting, like, who knows what that whole thing was. But I think he needs to push new champions. People who've never been champions. I think 2026 needs to be the year of people being champion for the first time. A lot of them. I wouldn't mind seeing, like, I don't know, they've got 17 belts. Maybe 9 of them get hot potatoed for a while. You know what I mean? With new people who've never been champion before, because a lot of them deserve to be. And I think that Megan Bayne absolutely should be the next woman who's never been champion before to be champion. Unless it's
what is things that sound like hyperbole that are not? They have 17 belts. I
don't know. They might. Probably.
It's not far off from that. It's not as far off as maybe I'm not going to say should, as I would prefer. I agree with that sentiment. The Hobbs thing I don't think is like a fumble situation. People are saying Amanada in the chat, like that's absolutely someone that should.
She's great.
I would even go as far as to say not only new champions, but I would say mobility between belts, because we have not seen a lot of world champions win lower card belts, and I feel like that would automatically put some importance on them. And then you have your mid card challengers fighting a main eventer, and then one of those mid card challengers wins that, and voila. So I would like to see even mobility going the other way of some of the people that are at the top of the card dropping down to the mid top of the card. Elevate.
I really love the idea of having AEW make a rule for one of its titles. I don't know which one. Maybe the TNT title. You can do the option C that they do with the X Division in Impact, where I can trade this in for a title shot, and then when I do, I'm not that champion anymore, win or lose. And then you can create more champions in the mid card, because every time somebody trades that in, somebody new gets to be champion. Like that, you could have a constant flow of new mid card champs, and everyone will know, okay, well, that guy was a TNT champ once, you know? And the first time somebody trades that in and then becomes the champion, it's going to be a major thing. And then every time somebody does trade it in, you think, well, that was that one time 7 months ago when it worked. Let's see if it works this time, or 2 years ago. And then eventually you do it often enough that, like, 3 out of the last 7 times somebody traded it in, they became the champion. You could do some cool stuff with that.
Alex, even like that's a very cool approach. I just want all of the titles to have distinct personalities, like whether it's rules, whether it's where they're defended. Like there's not enough delineation in that aspect. So that's it. I would prefer less belts. If you're not going to have less belts, the thing then you have to do is make them feel different so that it's not everybody has a belt.
Agreed. And Matthew Hook says, SGS, 4 title matches in the next week. I love it. Yes. It's some really cool stuff that they're doing. I love that. Alpha Bill saying his name is Fraxium. I don't even know what that even refers to. And then Orion Ben says that Peanut Pulowski, that's my daughter, and little First Lieutenant, future AEW mixed tag champs.
100%.
Yeah, she's got a mean elbow drop. I know because she hit me with it yesterday. And, not intentional. No. She just jumped from. Dad has a really big chair. Next to it is the couch. She ran across the couch on all the cushions and then jumped and landed on me, and I was looking at my phone. She did an elbow drop without realizing she was doing an elbow drop. It's fine.
Did you critique her form?
I said ouch, and I was out of breath for a while because she knocked the window.
Appropriate response.
Yeah. It's Electric Mayhem says super chat to compliment Kate's new haircut.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's pulled back today, but it's definitely the Rachel. I haven't styled it to be the Rachel because I'm not good at it yet, but I ended up getting the Rachel. So I just want to constantly be like, yeah, Ross. Like that's what I do now. That's who I am.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a lot of that. A lot of that with Jennifer Aniston on that show. I got a job. Wrestling podcast.
That is like I have like PTSD from the late 90s listening to that. It's weird. Like Lieutenant Photo says Alex reads the Elimination Chamber structure stats as somebody from Chicago and then says have fun making core memories. I dared him to super chat this and then he did. I don't have the actual like promo that the guys read, but I did look up the thing. So here we go. Let's see. The Elimination Chamber stayed 16 feet high and 36 feet in diameter and weighs a total of 16 tons, 10 of which consists of steel. The chains that surround the chamber stretch for 2 miles and weigh 6 tons. It's a big chamber. There you go.
That was beautiful. Like poetry. Alex, you're going to be away for a bit.
I am going to be away. I'm out. I'm away.
How should we write you off?
Oh, that's good. I don't know.
Should we jump you out? Like you're in New Japan? Should we jump you out and I'll give someone a different shirt?
Ring ring. Hello? Oh, yes, certainly. I'll be right there. Yes. No, I know. Gotham needs me. Okay. Sorry, I happen to be Batman. And
I had no idea.
I'm gonna go and fight the Joker. Chamber.
All right, well, good luck against the Joker. We'll just remind you to, be safe out there. Subscribe to Fightful Select to stay up on wrestling news while you're fighting the Joker. And dang, no plastic bag emoji. We should have planned. We should have. It's our fault for not having a bit prepared. I'm sorry. We let you down. The wonderful people.
Don't have a plastic
Fightful.
Bag. I should have a plastic bag. Why don't I have a plastic
We
bag?
could have done it to Alexi. We could have just put a plastic bag over it, like a sandwich bag.
Hold on.
Papa, please don't leave us. He'll be back. I'll be back next week with Sean, though. Actually, I'll be doing this here post show again. I'm gonna get ready to hit end stream. Oh, the tape machines are